Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Bradamckinnon here. Today we are in a bathroom in a full renovation of a house. We've got new plasterboard on all walls and ceilings, and this bathroom here has about 100 screws in the wall, and we're going to be skimming this wall today just because we've got that critical light coming in on the left there through that window, plus all those screws in the wall. We're just going to try and cover it completely because at the moment when that semi-gloss paint goes on there, you'll see the difference between the plasterboard paper face and then where the plaster, that smooth plaster that I've plastered the screw holes and the joints with. So we're going to skim this wall. It's a 2.7 meter stud, and I'm going to use just a multi-purpose ready mix compound made by Jib here in New Zealand, and I'm using the new Comey 381 IN trowel. It comes with broken in edges, and it is 360 mils or 14-inch trowel. It's 100 mil wide and 0.6 mil thick. Absolutely beautiful trowel to use. The rubber grip, nice big handle on it, so it works really well. This is a new trowel, and just having those broken in edges, you can use it straight out of the box, and it's just like sort of one of your old trowels, and yeah, it works a treat. And my method with skimming walls is, you can already see I've done this wall up to a level 4 finish and I've sanded it, so we don't want any edges or anything before we skim. This is a very light skim, and I like to start at the top and work my way down as far as I can reach. That means coming up there's a little bit less, and it's easier to sort of push down than it is to push up, I guess is what I'm saying. I got my mix nice and wet, and you'll notice there when I sort of pull it out of the bucket, I sort of give it a whip up just to loosen it up a bit, because when it sits in the bucket it sort of stiffens up, so that helps. If you're a beginner, obviously you might have a bit thicker just to hold it on the trowel. You know, I've been doing this for years, so having it nice and wet is a lot easier to work or do the job, but then it'll fall off your trowel a lot easier too, unless you sort of know what you're doing. But the easiest sort of way to explain on how to put the plaster on is to put it on your trowel, and then you can see I'm rolling my wrist as I put the plaster on, and then I just keep a straight trowel as I'm cleaning it off, and that's pretty much the entire method. Just like to take those knives out of my back pocket as I'm squeezing up against this other wall here, because as soon as I bend over they just hit the wall and put scratches in. So there, as I'm putting the plaster on, I'm rolling my wrist as I'm coming down, and that just gets all the plaster off the trowel, and that puts it on the wall. And then as I clean it off, I keep it on a nice angle against the wall. And you also notice that I kind of dip that left side of the edge down. It's almost like a grader grading the road. You know how they have their blades on an angle just to get that nice sort of flat finish. Because when I put that on, as I'm coming down, I'm sort of, I guess it's not perfectly flat. I'm sort of, well, I guess putting, not bumps, but that's sort of over exaggerating it, but it's not going on perfectly flat. So when I take it off, just having it on that angle is sort of creating that flat finish again. So you can see there I've got that sort of straight trowel as it's going on, and then as I take it off I sort of dip you can see it sort of pointing down at the front there. That's just to try and get it all nice and smooth. Now this room has a square stop or square set So what I'm doing is I've actually finished the ceiling line and the opposite walls there, but once this is dry I'll just come back and finish off the square set with my 4-inch knife. So I'll just go around the top of the wall line and then down that right side of the wall and the left side of the wall. You can actually see that those other two walls on the opposite side of the room are getting tiled, so I've just first coated those. That's why I've only done the joints. They're getting fully tiled from floor to ceiling. And that other wall on the right there by the door is just, I've already skimmed that wall. That's a bit of a light critical wall as well. But I'm just sort of showing you the process here on this big wall. And so we've come down as far as we can now. I'm going to go up just to meet where I've lifted off. And again, just putting the plaster on, rolling the wrist up, and then just cleaning off with a straight angled trowel. And again, just a nice, this wall is perfectly flat, so we're not putting much on, very little. We're pretty much putting it on and cleaning it off. We just want to get that nice uniform finish across the whole surface. I mean, if this was an old wall, I'd be putting a lot more on to try and sort of flatten it out a bit. But this is brand new plasterboard. It's Aqualine, which is moisture resistant. And just a very thin coat. And we just got an electrical box there. We just cleaned off any daggly bits because we don't want to pick up anything and drag it through the plaster. So push those wires in before you start. Clean off those edges. Push the edges in, and then you can just run straight over it. And you should not get any bits in your plaster dragging through it. Just whip up the plaster there just to loosen it up. Yeah, so this, because it's a bathroom, they get a semi-gloss paint on the wall for easy cleaning. And of course, semi-gloss paint, and then a light right on the side of the wall. You can always, shows up everything. And it shows up, it shows up that paper on the plasterboard, and you can see where you've plastered because the plaster is nice and smooth. So that's the whole point of doing this, just to get that nice smooth finish over the whole wall. So it doesn't take long for a professional. We've been going about 8 minutes now. So that's pretty quick. I always like to skim just with my hand tools. You can obviously do it with put it on with a roller and then take it off with a skimming blade if you like. But this is just as good, just as quick for me doing it this way. Quite a dark room, this one. Just that one little window in it. She's all done. Look at that. Perfect. So I've been using a few Comey tools lately. They're made in Italy. They're just showing you there. I'm just going to finish off that square stop once that's dry. Just a lot easier to do it that way. But these Comey tools, yeah, Italian made. Beautiful tools. Check them out on their website. They're sold around the world. And not only do they work good, they look good too. Some of their tools, they make Venetian trowels, and they do all concrete trowels. Bricky's tools, and yeah, they got a great selection. They got some black stuff, gold plated tools. gold plated trowels. You can check that out on one of my shorts there if you want to check that one out. But hope you enjoyed this one, guys. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.